right? What led us to the site on the moon, where we have found the structures, is an 18-mile diameter crater in whose interior is an almost perfect equilateral triangle, Art, which can be seen from the Earth with a telescope.
What would it appear to be? A triangle as in indentation?
It appears to be a dark equilateral triangle.
Can you tell whether it is an indentation or a protrusion?
Well, you can't tell from the Earth-based photographs. We've now acquired photographs taken by the Lick Observatory about 50, 60 years ago. And these were available from NASA. They were picked up by a colleague of mine at an archive in Hawaii, of all places. We tried to get some full moon photographs from Lick directly, and for some curious reason, we couldn't get any. I don't know whether it was because the people we were dealing with were kind of dumb, or they are not available, or I don't understand why, but we finally had to track down full moon pictures through a NASA archive out in Hawaii. And when you scan them and put them up on the computer and enlarge them, lo and behold, this crater called Oort has this stunningly perfect equilateral triangle inscribed within it. It's the only crater on the moon that we've examined. We've now looked at thousands of them that has this. Now, what makes this pretty interesting is that this crater, at certain times, is the closest crater to Earth on the moon. It is in the center of the lunar disk. It's right smack dab center of the visible side of the moon, facing the Earth as the moon orbits around the Earth in about a month. It's the place where, if you were putting something for intelligence on Earth to see when it developed telescopes, Art,
that's where you'd put it?
That's where you'd put it. So, of course, this is kind of interesting. Now, when we did the computer processing, what you can do in the computer is you can measure very carefully light values. If you've been looking at your GIF images,
yes,
you know you can call up what's called a histogram.
Yes, absolutely.
And you can actually measure on a scale of 1 to 256,
right,
the grayscale.
That's correct.
The bright and dark pixels.
Right.
Well, on the rim of the crater, we can look at the brightness of the rim in various parts. If you think of a crater as a circle, as a clock,
right,
and you have the clock at, let's say, midnight with the hands directly up,
right,
3 o'clock would be with the hands at right angles, 6 o'clock would be with the hands the opposite, and so on and so forth. Think of a clock face, all right?
Okay.
The equilateral triangle in Oort is basically midnight to 4 to 7, and back to midnight.
Huh.
That's the edges. It's straight up and down. Now, on the rim, around the crater, there are 3 bright sections, which are at 2, 10, and 6. So it forms another equilateral triangle if you connect the edges outside of the interior equilateral triangle.
Right, precise one, yes.
Like a double inscribed equilateral triangle, which of course is the two-dimensional equivalent of the double inscribed tetrahedron we have decoded through the monuments of Mars, if you looked at my UN tape 1,400 times, as some people in fact have.
Yes.